Hey everybody, it's Andy. Welcome back to my weekly show where I help you build a career you love. Today, no topic. No topic, which means I'm coming empty-handed so we can spend all our time talking about your career questions and for me to brighten your day. It is great to see you again. I know I was off a week or so, but I'm back. I've got this special Friday edition for you. So I am ready to roll. Feeling kind of bright today. I wore white. I'm feeling extra juicy because you see that thing back there? That's the sun. I haven't seen that thing in about a week. So it always makes me feel a little better when I can see the sunshine. So I'm here to brighten your day. So get in, say hi. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what you need. Put some question marks in front of your questions so I can find them. I can see. With the little kibitzing that I was doing before the show started, we got a nice crowd here. There's an awful lot of stuff in there already. Now, I was thinking about brightness and brightening your day, and I thought since I've got a lot of time for you today, and we'll get through quite a few of your questions, but I thought, what can I do, to brighten their day a little more? And I noticed based on all your social media likes and shares and comments that people seem to be happy with puppy pictures. And I thought, what's even better than a puppy picture? How about a doggy video? So I wanted to let you inside to a little behind the scenes piece of me of what goes on every time I get in front of the camera with you. So whether it's the live office hours every week or a boot camp or a special event or whatever it is that I've got rolling, I go through this routine about 15 minutes before I get to the show. And you might notice when I'm chatting with you and I say, hey, I'm trying to take care of my puppies, I go into the kitchen. The dogs are usually in the office right behind me, laying, sleeping, or whatever, but they kind of know this time of day, a few different things happen. So I go in the kitchen, I take the treats, I kind of shake them, and then I say, puppies, it's showtime. Showtime means they got to go upstairs. Daddy's got to go to work. So they come into the kitchen, and this is what happens every single time. And I hope I don't mess this up, but this is basically what happens.
Puppies up, puppies up. Come on, showtime, showtime.
I know. It's so comical. And it happens every time. Sometimes they take different routes out of the stairs. So then because my dogs are so yappy, and I can't leave them out during these sessions because they'll start begging for food because it's lunchtime, or they'll start barking at the birds or the squirrels. And because they're so loud, I got to put them in their crate. So my office is on the main level of my house, and it's as far south in my house as you can go. So I put them upstairs on the upper deck into the farthest northern portion of the house so that you guys can't hear them. The doors are all shut and all that good stuff. Then what I do is I come back I sit in one of those chairs, close my eyes for a minute, go through a little mantra, and then I get up, and before I get here in front of the camera, I remind myself that God and the universe brought me to these people at this moment in their life because they need your help. It's important that you do not suck and give them bad advice. So otherwise it'll be all your fault and they'll be all messed up. So that's what I do. And then I show up, and then I turn the camera on, and then I say hello. So that's a little piece of me. I hope you enjoyed that. I got a couple of other announcements. One other announcement that doesn't suck is finally, after a 7-week back order issue, thanks to getting wiped out all of a sudden on the copies we had left, 2,126 of these little beauties are on the shelf, although 1,000 of them are probably gone because of all the back orders. But it's in the warehouse again. I bought this book for you. I give you the ebook, the audiobook, some other bonuses, and all I ask is you pay $7 to ship it to yourself anywhere in the world. So the Interview Intervention book is back. Kara will put it in the chat if you want to grab it. That's pretty great, and I know they've been flying off the shelves, but if you order it, it goes out the next day. Basically, we get all the orders from every day, we send them over to the shipping company, and then they go out the next day. And if you're in the US, you'll get it within a few days, and if you're you're outside the country, depending on where you live, it takes a little longer. All right, so I wanted to let you know that. One other thing I want to let you know is we just finished recording a new round of my job search boot camp. And we just finished it literally yesterday, which is why we're having a special edition today. One thing that I decided over the course of the last month or so is I wanted to change the format to improve it. And without going into all the details, I actually had the people in the program that were there live with me take a survey, and they voted 84% to change it to this new format that we're going to start implementing. As a matter of fact, it started already. So I decided, although May is not normally a boot camp month, that I would have a special promotion for the Job Search Boot Camp in May. And that promotion lasts until next Thursday. So you got 1 week, because every Friday in May from the 10th, the 17th, the 24th, and the 31st, I will be holding a multi-hour boot camper only coaching sessions. Those will be live. People will be able to watch the training material and the lessons at their own pace throughout the week. They can show up Friday with all their questions, or they can send us their questions in advance, and I will answer them live for them. So if you missed the promotion, or you were on the fence about the promotion, or you're newer to my community, think about jumping in. Some of you who have never heard from me about the bootcamp probably got some messages yesterday. Some of you that have already been with me in the community probably haven't heard this yet. So I wanted to let you know that now. But Kara can put the link to that in as well. The other thing, for those people who are paying members of the Mile Walk Academy, we have a private LinkedIn group now. So that's another bonus that comes along with being a member of the Mile Walk Academy. You can get into that LinkedIn group as long as you pay me at least $1. And whether you buy this book, you can get into that. Whether you jump into the boot camp, you can get into that. Whether you're one of my one-on-one coaching clients, but anybody who's basically a paying member of something in the Mile Walk Academy can get connected to all the people. And we started it, and it's growing very, very quickly. It's about a week or two old. And then lastly, I have a leadership monthly program that's live on May 22nd. That's going to be on how to make great big decisions in your life and the process you need to go through to make sure you're making a good one, and why people make a lot of errors. And so we're going to go through that. If you join, you also get the recording from the Building Your Confidence session we did in March and the Focus session that we did in April. So that's out there as well, and Kara can throw that in the chat. Okay, I'm in. A little over 100 people. Let's get to the questions. Kevin Martinez was here 2 hours early. One thing I want to let you guys know, I just go in order. I try to go slow. I try to read the chat slowly so that I don't miss anybody, but make sure to put question marks in. And if you are not seeing what I'm reading, trust me, somebody showed up and started putting their questions in early, and depending on when you joined, you might not be seeing the entire chat. So, and I got my Can I Help You mug with my Buffalo Plaid shirt that I love so much. All right, Kevin, how you doing? Kevin Martinez, hi Andy, boot camper here. Hey buddy, I know you've been active. It's been great having you. How do you feel about adding side projects on a resume? I have an entrepreneurial spirit and love to work on other business activities outside of work. Some employers love seeing this as it shows passion and drive, and others don't like seeing it. They have the mentality a person should be married to the company. What do you think? Kevin, do not put that stuff on your resume. Final answer, don't do it. I understand everything you said there is accurate, but most employers are going to get concerned if you have a side job. So I would rather you don't put that on your paperwork. You are not there to explain it. You are not there to explain how hard a worker you are, any of that stuff. If they're reviewing your resume and they see that, you have a greater chance of them holding it against you than them favoring it. If you get into the interview process and they start mentioning that they like people to have outside interests and all that good stuff, you can bring it up in the interview, but do not, under any circumstance, put anything that is not related to your personal growth in doing the jobs you're trying to attain or seek. So, and I don't mind if you have extra training and other things that you've taken, you can put those down. But don't put outside businesses. We literally, just now, within the last 10 days, have a candidate who has these outside ventures. He has weekend jobs and other things that he does. And what's the first thing our client said to us after they got off the phone screen? The CEO of the company called me and he said, everything was good. One of my biggest concerns is, and his name happened to be Andy. Andy has these outside interests, and I need to make sure that he's available to do some of the extracurricular stuff that we need him to do to help us build the company, not just consult to our clients and so on. So believe me, while I appreciate that some employers might like that, but it's not worth the risk. It really isn't, and it won't add that much to your candidacy. So it's a risk-reward thing. I wouldn't do it. All right, let's see. Masal, how you doing? Finally able to join. Love it. Studying and thinking of starting a business of my own, an ice cream parlor. That sounds tasty, and I would be overly hefty if I did that. Oh, Masal, you're throwing me in the big blue ocean here. First thing, let me offer you this advice. So, yes, I have major suggestions about how to run a successful business, but I think what would be more valuable, and that could take an hour and a half that we have allocated for this. Let me offer you this. And this, by the way, is, I mentioned about my Leadership Live, my monthly program, and we're talking about decision making. This is a preview into the kind of things that we're going to be talking about in a couple of weeks. I think the best thing that I can offer you right at this moment is, because you are thinking, because you use the word thinking, you're considering starting a business. The reason most people make poor decisions, I'm not saying this is a bad one for you. This is what the process I want you to go through to make sure this is something you want to undertake before you figure out the mechanics. What people do is they go right to the victory. I want to be married. I want to have the big house. I want to own my own business. I want to have the corner office. I want to build a foundation, whatever it might be. What they tend not to do is identify all of the working challenges that they are going to have to go through in order to attain that victory. And what they also don't realize is there is a huge attainment cost and a huge maintenance cost in reaching that pinnacle or that goal that you're shooting for. So what I would do is I would identify all the things that go along with running a business of that kind and determine if those are things that you would enjoy doing, know how to do, could hire somebody to do, what the expense might be, and so on. So running a business, you have to create the business, you have to work with the government, you have to properly classify the business, and so on. You obviously have to find the location. Do you like looking for real estate? Do you like working through those kind of deals? Are you going to work with a real estate agent, a commercial real estate agent, and so on? Are you going to buy the building? Are you going to rent the building? What are you going to do? And then, everything that goes along with being a business owner, making payroll, and so on, jot that down. And then try to assess if you are going to enjoy those challenges or not, because those challenges are going to be present. And there's stress every day in running your own business. So what I really want you to do is identify the challenges that you anticipate you're going to face. I would talk to other ice cream parlor business owners and ask them what it is they do, the challenges they face, and so on. I would never open a business of my own without doing that first. So that's what I would do. I think that'll better serve you right now to make sure that you make a good decision. Varun, how you doing? Oh my goodness! Linda LaCivita, can we all give Mrs. LaCivita and the Hilltop third graders a big shout out and tell them Mr. LaCivita will figure out a day to come and see the classroom. And by the way, I am going to be in San Francisco on June 7th. It's a Friday. Any of my San Francisco people that want to meet me for a drink and Mrs. LaCivita, I'm sure will whip out the credit card. Be happy to buy you a cocktail. And so, if you're going to need to be on my email list to get the details, but I'm letting you know if you want to save the date. Great to see you, honey. Love you. Jonathan, how are you? You are welcome for me to be consistently inspiring and just all around amazing. I told you it is very important that I do not suck, and I take that seriously. Okay, love this one. I have some questions about applying to a company with multiple job postings. Should I apply to only one posting that's my best guess for a good fit? If so, should I say in the cover letter that I'm open to other opportunities? Okay, you got multiple questions here. Let me hit them all. It is okay to apply to multiple jobs. However, I would be very thoughtful about what those multiple jobs are. If you see an analyst position and then you see a senior analyst position or junior analyst position, there's three of them right in a row, You don't need to apply to all of them. Just apply to one of them that you think is the most aligned to what you are. And in your cover letter, I would always, everybody, any cover letter, free cover letter I give you, or any of the paying students that get all that other stuff, you always should put in that you are open to other opportunities that they feel you would be suitable for in their company. It is not showing that you are uninformed. It is a reminder to them not to completely dismiss you immediately because you don't exactly fit the one thing that you thought you would be good for. Okay, so it's a reminder. It's just like me reminding you to hit the thumbs up button if you like this, right? I always forget to say that. My guess is that you like it, but without the reminder, you don't always do it. So that's what I would do. Now, if there are multiple jobs in different divisions, so maybe it's a very large organization and this one is reporting into this unit, or maybe you're a technologist and the technology departments are decentralized, and there's a sysadmin position here and there's a sysadmin position over there. You can apply to both of those. But I would always let them know that you are applying to other opportunities in their organization, and I would give them the link or the career portal link or the ATS link or whatever it is, or the name that you applied for, because it's important that you don't know what the internal organization looks like, who's communicating with whom. So you want to make sure that you're letting them know, and that's okay. And you could say it appeared as though these were in different divisions, so I applied. That's what I would do. I actually have a video. I believe I have a video out there on should I apply for multiple jobs. It's out. I mean, just go to the YouTube channel front page, hit it in the search bar. Or if Kara's internet service is working and she's on her game, she might even be able to drop that for you in the chat. Okay. Mom, oh my God, this is like LaCivita extravaganza today. How are you, Mom? Hope Dad's with you. Tell him I said hi. Hope the shoulder's doing well. Varun. Okay. Oh yeah. Hey, this is a boot camper, right? Welcome back, Andy. After getting my contacts to accept my connections on LinkedIn for the first time, how do I pitch them a job? Some are C-suites and HR people. Okay, Varun and everybody else. My preference would never be to ever send a connection request to somebody you do not know if you are job searching. If you don't really need them to connect to you and you want to be an open networker and you want to reach out and send them a little, one sentencer, be my guest. But if you are in need of them and you actually need to either see if they have an opening, can refer you to an opening, can network with you or whatever, first step is you send them a message, an email or an in-mail, either which way is okay, and you let them know that you want to network with them. Now, I believe you're in the boot camp. So you have 10 networking templates, and I've written all these out for you. So you should have those, and for whatever the relationship looks like, you should use the guide I give you to open up that relationship. And then you can ask, and in those networking templates, depending upon how where they sit in the organization and the strength of your relationship with them, you can adjust the language and try to go right to pitch in that you need their help and what you need their help on. For others, it's different. It's a multi-step process to build a relationship and then ask. But I would check that out. I mean, I would reach in for what it is that you are looking for. One of the techniques that I give you from a networking standpoint that is out in the public domain is my boss hunting technique. It is incredibly effective. Incredibly effective. Go and check that out. Just type boss hunting in the search bar. Look for those opportunities where I've given you multiple free cover letters. One if you know an opportunity exists in that person's unit, and one if you don't. Use that language. That's how I would start, and that's how most of you, or especially the senior folks, should approach it. That's what I would do there. CL, how you doing? Hi, Andy. If I interviewed for a specific position at a company and was not selected, but they said they'll keep me on file, should I apply for another role at the same company? CL and everybody else who gets ousted during the interviewing process, I have a very fun, very effective video called How to Get the Job After Being Rejected. There's a whole process in there of what to send when they notify you that you did not get the job. Then what you do is you part ways with them. You go out with some class, you send them a blended thank you / cover letter message. I give you the script. I verbalize the script. You send that. 30 days later, you follow up, and so on. So that's what I would do. And if you were rejected in one unit in the organization, it depends whether you should apply or not, depending on the reason that they gave you. If they said to you, hey, CL, you just don't fit the culture, we just don't love you, then I would not apply. If they say, hey, CL, we loved you, this other person just had a little bit more experience or was a little bit more aligned, had a stronger relationship with somebody in the company, whatever it was. If it's something like that, then I would go ahead and apply. But I would never put my resume in the applicant tracking system for a company with whom I'd already interviewed. You have a contact there. If you're interested in applying for another role, you go back to that contact, that recruiter, that HR person, or whoever was quarterbacking your process. You send them your updated resume or just an email that says, hey, I noticed there's another opportunity that I'm really interested in. Do you think I would be a good fit for this role? That's it. Real tight, real short. But don't put your resume in the applicant tracking system. Go back to the person. And hopefully, if you've built a relationship with that person over time, they will consider you. It happens a lot where people get victories that way. All right, Steve G, how you doing? I would never put a picture of myself on my resume. So Steve's asking, would you recommend having a picture or photograph of yourself on your resume? I wouldn't do it except if you are going into a modeling agency, fine. If you are in Germany, fine. Because certain cultures, they want pictures. But Steve, you are in Canada, and to my knowledge, I would not put it on there. Now, if you're going to tell me that in some provinces in Canada or wherever you live, they recommend that you do this and employers seem to like it, then go ahead. But if you are in the United States, I would not. In most countries, I would not. Only bad things can happen if you do. And in today's day and age, it's very different. You should have a very good picture on your LinkedIn profile. Over 80% of the employers are going to click that LinkedIn profile for you. They're going to see what you look like. So I wouldn't do it. Meredith, how are you? Hi, this goes against everything you've taught, but how do you decline a job offer? What? Are you kidding me? Decline job offers all the time. So the salary's too low and doesn't cover insurance because it's funded through a grant, meaning it's non-negotiable. Meredith, the way I turn the job offer down is while I love everything that I've experienced at this company and really would like to work here, your offer is too low, the salaries stink, and I'm out of here. I mean, it's just really, really plain and simple. If that is the reason, then share that with them. Let them know I'm rejecting you because you are not paying me what I feel I'm worth. Now, let's not even get into the conversation about, well, did you actually demonstrate the value and do they think you're worth this or do they think you're worth this? And they're trying to lowball you or they just don't have the budget. There's absolutely nothing wrong with rejecting a job offer that does not suit your needs for whatever. Maybe you've gotten through the whole process. You decided you didn't like the boss. You didn't like the product as you found out more about it or the service, whatever it is. No, I would tell you, be straight. So what I would tell you for anybody who's got to reject anything, be honest. Let them know. Wouldn't you appreciate if all the employers gave you the exact honest feedback? And even though they don't, doesn't mean you shouldn't. Okay, so I would, Meredith and everybody else, I would go at it straight away. And I love this. We laughed about this yesterday in our boot camp as we were wrapping up the recordings. And I said, and they were asking me, somebody was asking me, how do I say this? And somebody else said, how do I ask that? And most of the time, the way you write it to me, the way you ask me on my blog or my YouTube channel is the exact way you should say it. Don't overcomplicate it. I will always advise the truth. Speak the truth. You'll never go wrong. Rosa, how you doing? Rosa, put your pound leader tag on there. Let everybody know. Brian Sutton, how you doing? Oh, I didn't know you're from Canada. And look, Rosa can teach this stuff. Yes, go by the custom of your region. Steve, I would go and pull. I mean, you live there. You ask around, man. Connie Cotter, how you doing? Hey, Connie, I know you probably missed the boot camp yesterday, but I gave you a shout out for all, for your new job and all those jobs you rejected. All right. All right, Brian, I trust Brian on that one. Steve, don't put your picture on it no matter how handsome you are. Oh my God, Michael McDevitt, how you doing? So, yes, B. Sutton Quaid. Brian is mentioning how in the Interview Intervention book about I do cover counteroffers and that you should not accept them from your current employer. I would highly recommend that you go in here and you read how you go from being a nice candidate to being an extortionist if you do that. So I do cover that. And I don't know if I said this when we talked about the free book. The book takes a few days to get to you or a few weeks depending on where you live. But the ebook and the audiobook are available immediately. So once you pay the $7, you have access to all this. And as a matter of fact, the ebook is whole. It's all one document and it comes up on any reading device that you have, your phone, your iPad, your Nook, your Kindle, your computer, or whatever. The audio is broken up by chapter. And so you kind of skip around and you can listen to the audio for just that piece if you want. Obviously, you can just read the chapter too if you want. Mary from down the block, Oak Brook. I'm applying for an out-of-state position. My target company has job description that says, can you ask for the close? So you must be a salesperson. All right. Headquarters and HR in one state. Position is regional in a target state. Go through the headquarters or just one. Seems like they are asking for a call. Close. I'm not sure what you're saying. Okay. Mary, you live in Oak Brook. You're going for a regional position that I'm assuming is probably here. I'm applying for out-of-state positions. So, okay, maybe you're leaving. Maybe you're going, to Iowa or New York or whatever. My target company has a job description that says, can you ask for the close? I'm assuming you're a salesperson. Headquartered in one state and regional in the other. So if it was me and you are applying, I would try to find a boss in the region that you are going to work in or whoever is in charge of that region. And I would use the boss hunting technique because there is a position. If you go get the boss hunting cover letter, it's free. Use that. Use the boss hunting cover letter that says there's a position known, which you know. Go directly to that person. Give them a few days to get back to you. If that doesn't work, go to HR let them know. I'm open to relocating. One other thing I want to let you and everybody else know who's looking for an out-of-state job. I have a video out there of how to find an out-of-state job. You can look at that if you are looking for an out-of-state job or a job in a different state, different country, or down the block. It makes no difference because of the way job searching is done these days. But there's 9 steps I recommend. And MC, I would definitely, or Mary, I would definitely look at that. And I would factor that in and make those adjustments as well. I'm assuming that when you said you're looking for an out-of-state position, meaning you're going to leave the Chicagoland area. But try that. Claire T. How's everybody doing? 145? Hey, all right. Don't forget, got a boot camp again starting live, 4 sessions next week. All right, Claire T. After collaborating with a recruiting company and having rejected the final offer too low, isn't the relationship with them compromised for getting a glimpse on my wage expectation? No. All right. It is not. If the comp was too low, the comp was too low. And Mile Walk, my executive search firm, where we pair, just like, we're a third-party search firm. We work on behalf of organizations. We have candidates just like you. Occasionally, the compensation won't be enough. And when I say occasionally, I mean less than 1% of the time. Because it's, we have a pretty good sense of where, what the company is willing to do to get the right person. Now, if that comp was too low, here again, did you do everything you could to sell yourself to raise that comp? So I don't know if it's a matter of you didn't prove yourself, or they just didn't have the budget, or the recruiter wasn't clear on, kind of an idea of what you're expecting. We don't even ask what your expectations are. We try to get a sense of what you're currently earning, just so we know that there's enough of an improvement that our clients can give the candidates so that the candidates will actually move. But no, I would not be overly concerned. And just so you guys know, next Thursday, the topic is working with executive recruiters, third-party recruiters. Ton of fun. I am going to unload everything on you. It's going to be a long talk. I'm prepping you for that. But if you want to know how to work with recruiters, how to get them to call you back, how to make them successful in helping you, all that stuff, I'm covering it next week, Thursday. Don't miss it. All right. Rosa, you're welcome too. We love you. Aaron Moore, how are you? From Indiana, the Hoosier State. Wanting to move back to the warm weather of Texas, I got to tell you, I never really thought about leaving Chicago till this winter. That's still going. I mean, we've gone from like 6 months of winter to like 8 months of winter now. But the heat is still going on in my house. I got to have my heating guy come back twice a season to check the damn stuff. All right, career changer, trying to get the colleges to see I have plenty of experience to help me do this job. Okay, I love it. Oh, wait, hang on. You broke up here. Is that a question? I will look for it. All right, I'm not sure that was a question, but lots of luck there. Dimitri, what have you been up to? Hi, Andy. I am thinking about continuing my career in mid to small business after working in large enterprises. Okay, I like that. Could you please give me some hints? What are the differences about their hiring? It's usually faster, less red tape, less people to talk to, but I would do nothing differently other than the investigation you have to do in order to figure out whether they're going to fit. So small to medium-sized companies this is a generalization because it's not all like this, but most of the time they're privately held. And not always, but most. And when that is the case, there's not as much information about the sturdiness, the financials, the market direction, because a lot of this stuff is public when organizations are traded publicly. So I'm trying to think, we actually, in the boot camp, there is a bonus module in how to evaluate small to medium businesses. So for all you boot campers, there's a whole section on just this one question. It's literally a blowout module. Anybody who's considering it, it's in there. For anybody who's not considering it, I have not put anything out on my public site about how to do this because I think there are, it's an incredibly valuable insight that should be saved for those who are investing. Now, you asked the question, so I want to give you a couple of areas to make sure that you look at. You've got to understand the financial balance of, where they are, either how their dollars are earned and how those are earned, who those are earned from. So you want to make sure that you are asking, what do the financials look like? So are they all coming from one revenue stream? Is everything coming from an inside sales engine? Does everything come from the marketing engine? Do we service customers? What does our customer palette look like? Financial services, insurance, manufacturing, and so forth. Is there an even distribution? So you've got to look at and ask them about the financials. If they're all snippy about, well, we don't want to tell you how much revenue we generate, you don't need to know that per se, but if you have an idea of the health and the financial stability of the organization, just say, hey, give me relative percentages. Is 50% of the company's revenue all in this industry? What happens if that industry has a meltdown? Is 50% of our dollars coming from one customer? This happens, right? What happens if that customer decides? We had a client, had 50 resources in her company. One of her clients was half her revenue. They decided to pull everything. She had to wipe out half her company overnight. So, these are things that I would look at. I would also be careful not knowing your particular position. I would make sure that if you are going into a new area, if they're starting up something and building out an arm of the company or building out a new unit or building out a new product line or new service line, that you are investigating whether there's a need for that service line how committed they are, meaning financially how committed they are, how, what are the resources they're going to throw at it, financial, bodies, and so on, partnerships. And then the other thing is how patient are they going to be in building that. There's a whole host of these things that you have to look at, but those are a few of the big ones. If you really want more, get in the program and we go deep. I give you an evaluation sheet. I give you a checklist. I give you a number of other things that will help you do that. But it's for the folks in the programs. Stefan, question, self-employed to employed. I'm assuming you just saw my video that I released this week. Ex-small business owner, language school, and retail in malls. You meaning you had a language school that you owned and you had a retail store that you owned. Looking for employment, maybe sales on commission. Cool. What is my title for the career profile? Retail sales executive. Have a nice day. Pansy, how are ya? Oh, wait. I think this is a question. Mary, I worked for a political consultant at a high level. BF, I'm assuming you mean your boyfriend, said remove from resume because it could be seen as divisive. My feeling is that it's really the biggest sales job ever, assisting candidates in being elected to public office. Any idea for turning this into a big sales experience without offending people? You're both right, okay? Put it on and don't use the person's name, okay? So what you want to do is you want to ring out of. So think about what your resume is. It is a sales document. It's really a marketing document for you. I would never, ever, ever put your political stuff. I mean, if you are you're a lobbyist, you're whatever, and that's your thing, and you're on the Democratic side, you're on the Republican side, you're on the whatever, and that's your shtick, then fine. But if this is an item that's on your resume and this is not what you do, or what you want to do, then what I would do is I would neutralize the party issues. The party issue theoretically should be irrelevant, right? I don't really care if you're a Democrat or Republican, independent, or whatever. Okay, so, but if everybody has biases, and if somebody has strong political feelings, then they might be turned off, and they will be turned off, and you will not get a call. But if you just put, political consultant to whatever, and then genericize the person's name, and do not put their Republican, Democratic, or independent affiliation, and then talk about what you did. Okay, and then I would just say, look, I really don't. If in the interview they ask you about it, just say, while I did this, I think I'm passionate about the selling, the drumming up the community and all that stuff. And that's really what I'd like to talk about. And that's what I did. Now, if they have to do a reference check after they like you, then that's a different story. But I wouldn't worry about it at that point because they like you. So that's what I would do there. That's a really interesting one. Davita, how you doing? Good to get you in the group, in the LinkedIn group. I just approved you this morning. And let me see. I did the slip of the hand thing there. Now I got to get back. There we go. Avo, how are you? A. Gardner. Awesome. Wait, I'm trying to get... Did I miss this? Hang on. Sorry, guys. Oh, no. Davita, Avo, great. A. Gardner. Awesome. Avo, beautiful. John, how you doing? Eugene, what do you got? Career changer from healthcare to IT. I would like to get your opinion in making a video that I could put in my portfolio to show that I have, I'm not sure what TGE skills is. I would not recommend putting a video together. Eugene, I would recommend you check out my video on how to build, for career changers, how to build your new brand. Go that route. I would put more content that is not video. I know everybody likes videos, but for this particular situation, I would not. I don't think people are going to watch it. I think people are going to look at your LinkedIn profile when they start to see all these articles about, IT and all that other stuff that you're writing about. That will better suit you. Just check that video out. If you go to my YouTube channel, type new brand or building your new brand for career changers or something like that. I'm sure I titled it something catchy, but that's what you want. Avo, if you need my guidance, get in my boot camp. Stefan, you're welcome. I left a question above about business owner turning employed. And Stefan, if I did, I know I mentioned this right out of the chute, but check that video out about moving back in. So I just did a video. It's kind of nichey, but everybody can benefit from it. It's if you were a contractor or consultant or self-employed and you're looking for full-time employment, watch that video. I shot it a year ago, but it just came out. It just came out the other day. Hayden, how you doing? Another boot camper. Great to see you guys. Karen's Journey, Alex, Alfredo. Hey, buddy. Hey, we got your thing. I am now acknowledging that I have received your thing, and I will get that back within about a week. Maybe sooner if I can really get rolling. Russ, how are you? Paul, great to see you from Pitt. I just love this. John Paul, Jesse Goldstein. Yeah. Those dachshunds are crazy. Thanks, Veteran Patriot. I have to work lots of hours to afford it. Tanae, how you doing? Danita, let's see. Newport, Arkansas. How can I transition from a stay-at-home mom to the workforce? I have recently earned a business and healthcare management. Oh, man, that's awesome. And Danita and everybody else who is a stay-at-home parent or mom or dad or whatever, go to andrewlacivita.com, hit the blog. So actually, I think andrewlacivita.com is now the Mile Walk Academy page. But on there, up at the top, you can link to the blog. And if you type in the blog search bar, stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home parent, an article will come up with a booklet that you can download that gives you the tactics to return to the workforce. One other thing. I just released a video not too long ago, probably within a month or so, about how to handle gaps in employment. You now have a gap in employment. Anybody who's been out of work for a year has a gap in employment. Anybody who, took some time off, went traveling, has a gap in employment. Or maybe you had a gap in employment somewhere throughout your career, and now you worked 5 years, you had a 2-year gap, you worked 5 years, and now you're current. Any of those situations I've handled in the video, how to handle an employment gap. We talk about the resume, we talk about the interviews. So check that out. Brian, Andy's starting to juggle what looks like could be multiple offers at plus or minus the same time. How to let down gently for the offers I don't choose to move forward with. Don't overthink it. I loved your company. I love this one more. That's it. So I decided to go with this. It was a little more aligned to what I was looking for. That's it. You do not need a ton of explanation when your rationale is you like them, but you chose somebody else because you like them more. It's kind of like dating. So that's what I would do. Don't overthink it, buddy. And congrats that you are smoking with these offers. Danita, I think, if you are a stay-at-home mom, and because you were taking care of your parents or something of that nature, I would definitely include that. I would include it in the second paragraph in the second sentence. So that's where I would put that. And it is a great management experience. Timothy Branch, boot camper, how you doing? What subject topic do you use when sending the boss hunting email? Any topic you want. Don't anywhere in the subject line put application for job. Just put, interested in working with you in your organization, anything that you don't overthink the subject line. This is not, when you as individuals are sending emails to these kind of people, they will generally open the email. Okay, when business owners like me who rely heavily on email communications to build relationships with their community and also to market our services and so forth, where you are getting, Timothy, you're getting less emails now that you're a boot camper, but you get emails from me. It's very important that somebody like me watches the subject line to make it true, be faithful to your word, that when they open that email, that's what they're going to get. You don't want clickbait and all that stuff because that ruins our relationship. And I also want to make it enticing so that you want to open it. That's very different because you're getting several emails from me. This is one email that's coming into somebody's queue. It will look different than a lot of other things. It won't be blocked by spam filters. It won't be anything. So it's not so much about how enticing your subject line is. You just want to make it sweet and professional, and that's it. All right. Nice W75. I get 3,000 emails a day, and I respond to the boot campers basically, and people that are paying students. If you are not, this is the best place to get me, or on the public YouTube channel. But I can't read every email that comes at me in full. But I'd love to help you. So I don't know what the question is. Let me know. There are a lot of gems in your vids. Oh, you're welcome. Ingrid Giles, how you doing? When a recruiter makes contact with you regarding a job position, don't get a response back after contacting them. Can I go directly to the company that is looking for a candidate to send my resume? Okay, Ingrid, multiple issues here. So, and we're going to talk about this next Thursday as well. So everybody, just so we're all in sync here. Recruiters work on behalf of organizations to find people for jobs. They do not find jobs for people. As part of what they do, they obviously have to reach out to you. A lot of you get that. I would reach out to you and say, hey, Ingrid, I saw your background. I would love to get connected. Would you be interested in connecting, meaning talking with me, setting up a time to talk? We may have some opportunities or an opportunity, want to gauge your interest, whatever. Now, if you respond to me, what you don't know is what else is happening. I have 10 other searches that are going on. Something might be moving forward, moving backwards. The priorities of our client companies are what drives our priorities, which in turn drives our communications out to the world and where we spend our time, who we seek, and all that good stuff. Now, what you didn't tell me is how long it's been since you did not get a response back. So, I get people emailing me that say, well, I sent an email to the recruiter, they didn't get back to me, and it's been a day. Well, it's nothing. A week is nothing. So you don't know what's going on behind the scenes with that recruiter. Now, if the recruiter goes dead silent and you haven't heard from him or her in a week, send them a follow-up. Hey, I just wanted to see if you were still interested in connecting. Now, what some recruiters will do is maybe they filled the position, maybe the client told them don't search for it anymore. You have no idea what happened, but what a good recruiter will do is will get back to you and say, hey, Ingrid, thanks. There's been a change in the position or something. It doesn't appear as though your background, that this would be suitable for you. Would love to keep in touch, right? There should be some little bow that they tie on it, all right? So, but now, the other thing that is in question is how do you know the company that they reached out for on that company's behalf to you? If you are getting emails from recruiters that email you and say, I'm searching on behalf of this company, would you be interested in talking with me? That is one crappy ass recruiter. Okay, that is a very, very poor way to connect with you, because the greatest value that the recruiter can offer you is not the job that he or she has at the moment, but the relationship that you can build on an ongoing basis, so that when something really nice surfaces for you that you're suitable for and is suitable for you, they will reach back to you. They're a window into the employment market. So this person is just trying to shortcut the process, doesn't want to waste time with anybody who's not interested in their company. But now what's happened? If that recruiter doesn't get back with you and you get impatient and then you contact the company, that recruiter is not going to get credit or paid, or the balance or whatever is owed that recruiter. Maybe it's the whole fee for you. So if it's me, you contacted me, I contacted you back. I waited a week, I'm contacting you again. You wait 3 more days, I'm contacting you for the last time. If if you're not interested in connecting, no problem. No problem. I'm here if you need me. And then go apply to the company. And then try to network your way into that company. That's what I would do. They don't get back to you within 10 days, right? In 3 communications. That's awful. That's not good. And it doesn't matter how busy they are. So that's what I would do. Tanae, how you doing? I am a professional who worked in customer service for the past 9 years. I studied HR in university, but has never worked in an HR role. I now want to transition into HR. What's your advice? I would do this if and only if, whatever it is that you all are doing, if you've got some years of experience in a particular role, industry, or whatever, you want to make a wholesale change, like Tanae does. Then if you go and you get a degree, or maybe you go back to school, or maybe you get your MBA, or maybe you get your paralegal degree or nursing degree or whatever, and you want to make a transition into that role, I would have a career profile, and then immediately under the career profile, I would put my education, because your education now is going to be your transition leverage into the new role. So Tanae, what I would do is write your career profile and highlight your customer service capabilities, because HR is customer service, right? It's customer service for the company and all the employees and everything that goes along with it and all that good stuff. So you have transferable capabilities, abilities, right, that you've developed over the last decade. And so then put your HR, degree, and then, then you're going to have to, then what I would also do is I have an entire Career Changers playlist on my YouTube channel. You've got to go and check that out. And I will give you the nuances of what to do, in the resume, how to target, and all that good stuff. Check that out. And then in your cover letters, you also want to make mention that I really am interested in getting, into what I studied. So I'm, searching for positions that align and so on. And that's what I would do. Ingrid, yes, the puppies are just, they're a little too cute for their own good. All right, hey, if you guys, all right, we're 11:52. We got a bunch more time to go. If you're loving this, make sure that you are clicking that little thumbs up button or that like button or whatever the hell it is. If you're interested in the boot camp, check it out. We dropped the price $100. I've reassembled the package. We're going to be meeting starting next Friday, every Friday in May. So the 10th, the 17th, the 24th, and the 31st. So if you're on the fence, get in. It's a really, really good program, and I've added a bunch of stuff to it, extra bonuses and other things that are inside it. It's really great, and leadership stuff is coming up on the 22nd, and that's a modest monthly fee, but it's really cool. So check that out and grab the book. Oh, I love this. Interview Intervention is the best book money could buy since it's free. Best investment I have ever made. I would strongly recommend each and every one of you to grab the book. Now, Steve, thank you. Andrew, we love you. Can I tell you guys, you want to hear how ridiculous? I got something ridiculous and non-common sense to share. So I wrote the book 7 years ago. It came out in 2012, okay? And I get royalty checks every quarter from the publisher. Okay, that's when somebody buys it on Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, all over the world. Doesn't matter. You can buy it anywhere. So I wanted to give the book away because I want it in your house. I want you to have it. I want to be connected with you, and I want to help you. And I do lose my shirt because I have to pay for all this, and I have to pay for the mailing, and especially, it doesn't make any difference. It goes out into the world. I have to pay the people to pick a package, ship it. I know you give me some small subsidy, but it doesn't cover anything near what all of this costs me. And that's okay, because I love doing it. But one thing I've noticed since I've been giving the book away for about a year is my royalties now for people who are actually buying the book are 10 times what they used to be, which is really ridiculous. I don't even know why I shared that with you, but it's just like, it's the craziest and oddest thing. So, and my royalties ain't that big because the publishers and Amazon and everybody else choose out everything that, comes with it. But it's just so funny. But I'm just more thrilled that more people are seeing it. And if I have to give it away to get it in your hands, then I'm doing that. Connie Cotter, if already in the boot camp, do I need to enroll in the Friday, May sessions? Connie, you do. And so for anybody who is in the boot camp and anybody who wants to get in the boot camp, what we do is we send you an email. And then we'll send you an email over the weekend or early next week, or if you enroll in the program, you'll get an email shortly thereafter, like within minutes, that say RSVP for your live sessions, and then you get set up. We do them via Zoom, and they're recorded for you. And then we drop little calendar invites in for everybody, and then you only have to do that once, and then you're good for May. Then June will come around, and we'll have a live session in June. And then July will come around, and we'll have sessions every week in July. So it's a pretty good process. Nancy, how are you? Welcome to my YouTube channel recently. You've been a great supporter. Carrie Freeman, how you doing? Yes, do you guys just love my mania? I know, I thought that was just so funny. I laughed for like 10 minutes after I did that and then realized what a dork I was. Okay. Albert from Singapore. Should I attach my reference letter from previous internship when uploading my resume or giving it to other people? No. Albert and everybody else, don't put references on your resume. Don't attach separate document with your references, and don't attach letters of reference that people have written for you. No one wants to read them. If they do, they will ask. Less is better in these situations. Miguel, how are you? You just received Interview Intervention. Great book. I've read, been coached, but the examples and perspectives are really helpful. I'm halfway through it, just on the first day. I love to hear that, Miguel. That's awesome. I really, everybody should have this book. Everybody, get the book, and if you already have a job, read it, give it away. That's my wish. Kevin, how you doing, buddy? It's been a while. I don't know of compliance. Karen's Journey, love the dogs. Connie Cotter, great to see you. Yeah. Missy, how you doing? I think we missed you yesterday. I was looking for you. Recruiter email, according to your info with us, I wanted to let you know about this exciting job. Then describes the app. Do you know anyone who may qualify? Are they really interested in you or others? So, actually, what I would prefer that sentence to say is, are you or anyone you know qualified and potentially interested? Here's one thing for Missy and everybody else, and we're going to go over this next week. When a recruiter contacts you, the best move you can make is to get them on the phone. I don't care if you're a database administrator and they contacted you about a sysadmin job. I don't care if you're a project manager and they contacted you about an IT position. It makes no difference. Get them on the phone for multiple reasons. Number one, you want to give them your information. You want to let them know who you are, what you're about, what you need, what you're qualified to do, and what you're interested in. Give so that they can get that into their system. If they're a one-person shop, great. If they're a 10-person shop or a 100-person shop, great. Your information is in the database so that when they get a requisition for whatever it is they're searching for, they go to their system first. They put the keywords in, they look in their system. They don't go to LinkedIn, they go to their system because the system has people that have already given them their goods, the resume, the whatever, connected with them. Okay, now, everybody that gets contacted by a recruiter generally assumes, okay, what can this recruiter do for me? Which is always a terrible mentality, right? What am I going to get out of this? This recruiter didn't even look at my background. They sent me this thing. They don't respect my time. They're not going to get me a job. But if you reshape the way that you actually think and give first and consider this a networking opportunity where you get a chance to give your information, and in exchange, you get the gift of giving that person referrals of people you know. And don't you worry about, I need to go call my friends first to see if they're okay that I give them their name. That's crap. Just give the names. The recruiter calls your friends or you feel the need to let your friends know, that's fine. Just say, hey, I gave your name. If you're interested, pick the phone up. If you're not, don't worry about it. You did your job. You gave out the referrals to the recruiter. The recruiter will love you. And so as you go through your search, if you want to check back in a month or two, they're likely going to get back with you. Not to mention, they'll put notations in your account that said, Missy, Johnny, Nancy, Jesse gave me names. Think of it as an opportunity to give and plant some goodwill out there and take advantage of the recruiter's greatest asset to you and value, which is a window into the employment market. That's what I would do. Now, Missy, in your case, I don't care what they wrote me. I would email them back and say, I would love to talk to you, and I'd love to share about me, and you could let me know about the position, and I will be happy to give you referrals if I know anybody that fits. It doesn't mean, and it's not anybody who's looking. It's anybody that you know that is even remotely connected or aligned to something like that. That's what I would do. Yes, love is grand. Jesse Goldstein, do you have a video on setting up informational interviews? I call informational interviews, I don't believe there's any such thing as an informational interview. It's an interview or it's a networking opportunity. I have everything you could possibly imagine on interviews, and if I was going to an informational interview, I would be ready. In setting up what you might consider an informational interview, I have a video on job search networking. I would check that out. But if you're talking about careers in mind and you would like to get some information about them, I would check out my video on how to choose the right job, and I show you the tactic of developing your requirements, your questions, and then evaluating your different options. Your options could be a role within a company. It could be different companies for the same type of position. It could be different careers. The columns will just change and you adjust them for what you are. You want to be in IT, you want to be a project manager, you want to be a business analyst, whatever it is that you want to do, you can do that. Then what I would do is I would research it on my own and try to make assessments through the internet and other things. I will call people who are currently in those roles, and my guess is you probably can find people based on who you know and then people they might know. And it's really just a networking, and hey, look, I'm expanding my network. I'm doing some investigation. Would you be open, to meeting me or having a phone call? I'll meet you, if you're in the same town, I'm happy to meet you for lunch or coffee or drinks or dinner or whatever, do anything you want. But that's how I would do it. And I look at it as a networking opportunity. Otherwise, it's an interview. If the person is in a capacity to influence you getting hired or not hired, it's an interview. All right, hope that helps. Tiger Lily, how are you? Yeah, that's so cool, Nancy. Okay, Kara put the link in, should I apply to multiple positions at a company? That was a good one. Rory, Zombie Review Boot Camper, how you doing? I worked for a company for 4 years. That company is now hiring for a camp position that I want. Should I email the safety manager I knew to beg for the job in a professional manner? Of course. Rory, I would interview that person and not beg and talk about how much you loved working at the company and you want to know if there's an opportunity to return in that capacity. You're a super dude, boy. I mean, you don't need to beg, okay? Go in there positively. Rosemary, another boot camper. Come on, you guys got to put your boot camper tags in there. Tell everybody how much fun you're having. If you apply for one type of position and you see a polar end, completely different type of role that interests you, if you apply, do employers think you are not serious? Yes. So I wouldn't do that. So the exception to that you can apply for multiple positions is, you can't be applying for like a sales position and then a system engineer position. You know what I mean? Like these are there's nothing, related. If you're talking about, different types of, product development versus consulting, for that product or something like that, those are quite similar. But it does not send a great message. It really doesn't. And as a matter of fact, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm guessing your resume doesn't fit both of them. And you can't send two different resumes to the same company. Not like that. I wouldn't. That really looks erratic. Sonny, how you doing? Could you tell if we use hire date, WND of March, and start date beginning of April? I'm not sure WND, on the resume if they are like different months. I'm not sure what you were asking. I'm not sure what you're asking. If you start on May 15th, you use May. If you or 2019, or it depends. I'm not really sure. I would use the start date I started and the end date of whatever. If you use months on your resume because you're a relatively new timer, the date you started, whatever that month was, the month you left, whatever that month was. If you are an older timer like me, then I just use the years. KKL, how you doing? Boot camper here. Question, but for those saying over 50 is a problem, nope, it ain't, and you are damn right it isn't. I know everybody likes to use that as an excuse, and folks, with all the love I can muster for you, it is not a valid excuse. It is not. We have people in their 60s and 70s in the boot campers, and they are in the boot camp, and they are getting jobs, and people that are emailing me on a daily basis that are watching my ageism videos, my over 50 job searching advice, and all that good stuff. They are getting jobs. They really are. All right, listen, Andy, trifecta in a job search: 1, over 50, changing careers, moving to a new state, 2 offers. Kelly, this is awesome. Part 2, if you can take the boot camp, Andy's videos and templates are golden. Andy will send, yes, on how to negotiate best offer. I did do that, and I do that. So, folks, I ain't making this stuff up. You don't have to take my word for it, but like Kelly and all these others are saying, you get results. You really do, and you're going to get a lot of time with me. I mean, in May alone, you're going to get 8 hours with me. So, we can work your stuff. You watch the stuff, you come at the end of the week, we'll work it, or you send me your questions in advance and I'll talk you through it. But it's a lot of support. And also on the boot camp, if you join, you get 24 sessions with me throughout the year with just the private boot campers. And I get through everybody's questions. I mean, we click off and there aren't any questions left. I mean, I get through a lot of stuff with these people. And so we have 4 months of the year where we do several, like we'll now start doing every week of the month. And then in the other months, we have a singular session where we get together. But you always have me at your fingertips if you ever need me on any given day. So it's pretty awesome. But Kelly, I totally appreciate that. And I want to make sure that I grab it here because that's pretty awesome. All right, Kevin, I recently discovered on LinkedIn that searches are finding me for the keyword retired. I'm not retired, but I have a 4-year gap as a stay-at-home parent. Any insight into this? It's news to me. I'm wondering, do you have the word retired anywhere in your profile? So make sure you've got something to current. Make sure that your summary is filled out. Make sure your headline is it's activated, and that you've got a headline that describes what you're doing and all that good stuff. I remember, I know you have a gap, but I have never heard of this, and I have no idea why that is the case. Steve. Adam Stark, what happened? Reinhardt, how you doing? You're welcome. Ali, I wanted to thank you for everything you share. I had an interview yesterday and it seemed to go well. I've been listening to you regularly and you've helped me with my confidence and preparedness. Ali and everybody else, thank you for saying that. I know I say this a lot in my private sessions with the boot campers and the folks that are in the programs. And I know I've said this on a number of occasions publicly like this. I, as a coach, and I genuinely want to help you. And I do my best to not only give you the tactics, but help you understand why the tactics are the tactics. I try to back it with science and data and experience and all that good stuff. And I try to give you the steps, 1, 2, 3, and so forth, and the strategy and the structure and all that good stuff. But all I care about is it's not about I give you the instruction and I need you to follow it A, B, C, and so forth. All I care about is that I instill in you the confidence to undertake something that you either might not have tried or might not have been as confident in something that you were going to try anyway. So that is the highest compliment, and that's what means the most to me is, am I instilling in you and inspiring you and giving you that confidence to go out and do it? And do it. You don't, one of my today's lines to live by is, you typically don't get it until you get into it. And you need to have the confidence and you need to have the no fear to get into it. So, the first step is always the hardest. We know that, as cliche as it sounds. Reinhard, you helped made the difference. I got the job. Awesome. C. Otis, is there a way to close up gaps on my resume? I've lost too many jobs in a 4-year period of time, and I feel like there's no hope for advancement because of it. That's not true. That's internal talk. Let's stop that. And then when you talk about close up the gaps, I don't know exactly what your 4-year period looks like, but for me, I would, depending on how short or long they are, you want to make sure that, and I don't know what country you're in. If you're in the U.S. and you've given them your social security number and you've collected a paycheck, it's going to come up on a background check. So you want to be honest with your resume. What I would do is I would check the employment gaps video, which will also help you. But that's what I would do. Beyond that, I'm not sure what to tell you. Reinhardt, glad you love the interview intervention. Rory, a job that I really wanted, I made to the last 3, but I didn't get it. Okay, so somebody else got the job. Should I periodically email the contact I have there to let them know I'm still interested? How often? Rory, and everybody else, we talked about this one. As soon as you don't get the job, like as soon as you know, the next day or that day, send the script I give you in how to get the job after being rejected. Then, if it went well, you got down to the end. I don't know how many candidates they had, but if you got down to the final 3 and they had 30 candidates, I don't know, that's pretty good. 30 days later, you check in. 30 days is an absolute eternity in time, because what happens is somebody reneged on the offer, never showed up for the job. Somebody came for their first day, crapped out after a week. Now they're looking again. So sometimes the recruiter doesn't always go right back to the individuals that almost made it. It's weird, but you should check within 30 days. Hey, just wanted to check in that everything went well with the person that you hired. If anything has changed, I want you to know I'm interested. Also, I want you to know that I loved your company. So if there are other opportunities that you feel would be suitable for me in your organization, I would welcome the opportunity to return and talk with you about those. Boom. 30 days. Then let 60 days go down. 60 days go by. Do it again. Check in, and then assuming you don't have an opportunity by then. But that's what I would do. Right away, 30 days, 60 days. It's not too frequent. Dankin 7. Hi, Andrew. I just received an offer, which is a bit under what I expected. However, in the contract, it says that 1 week to accept. Otherwise, the offer will be withdrawn. Dankin. So when you get an offer, that it doesn't matter whether it's what you hope for. And by the way, I say hope because expectations, and I mean, this is important. Everybody's expectations about what they want to earn, what they think they should earn, what they think they're worth, and all that stuff. It's irrelevant. It makes no difference. Expectations are the biggest sources of pain that we have. That didn't turn out how we thought it was going to turn out. The fact of the matter is, you didn't know. No one knows what the employer is willing to pay you or how the employer values what it thinks you can do until you actually get the offer, which you did. Then you saw what they thought. Now, whatever they thought was what they thought based on what you said in the interviews. Maybe they loved you so much and they gave you the highest that they possibly could. I have no idea. But regardless, I would take that offer. I would spend 1 day. I would think through the counteroffer, and I would go in the next day. I don't need a week. I need 1 day. And I have many videos on salary negotiation, and one of them is about what you think about everything you think about salary negotiation is wrong. You should watch that one. Watch my how to negotiate your job offer and all that good stuff. And I don't think you're in the boot camp, but if you're in the boot camp, session 5 is everything soup to nuts. It's all the counter offering and everything. But that's what I would do. Then I would go back to them and I would paint my counter offer for them. If you follow the video about how to negotiate your job offer or how to negotiate your salary after a job offer or something like that, it will also help you. But I would watch my more recent one about what you think about salary negotiation. Everything you think about salary negotiation is wrong. Hope that helps. Hey, Mom, again, Yanil, wonderful. Nancy. Nancy, honestly, and everybody, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. How do I find healthcare non-clinical recruiters? Don't look for them. Senior compliance, medical coding, audit, so on and so forth. LinkedIn and networking like crazy. Stay with that. Recruiters are not, you have a less than 1% chance of getting your job through a recruiter, and it's a couple of percent. It's even less if you are contacting them. The fact that you would thread the needle at that moment in time by contacting somebody and that on their desk is the exact job you want or something you're willing to take is so remote, it's not worth your time. You should be focusing on allocating your time in searching for your job based on your demographic. I go into all of this in my job search masterclass. It's free. Head to the Mile Walk Academy page and scroll down, and there's video series opportunities in there. Just click the red card. It says Job Search Masterclass. The second video in the series is about you and planning your search and allocating your time. And I say spend this much time, if any, trying to contact recruiters. I really, and beyond Googling them and those kind of things, I wouldn't know where to go to tell you to find them. But I wouldn't even look, honestly. All right, Rory, should you put on your resume that you're willing to relocate? Sure, why not? Or maybe just on resumes that are for out-of-town jobs? Sure, yes. Okay. Actually, I wouldn't put that on the resume, but I'd put it in the cover letter or the email. Ali purchased your book and was able to listen throughout the day, and it definitely was nice to have the audio while doing my daily activities. Love it. Alfredo, how come a CEO/president may have another job outside the company, such as board of director, and a normal guy like Kevin cannot? That's different. Sorry, Alfredo. Great point. Boards of directors, sitting on you run the foundation, you run a networking group, and those kind of things. Love it. That adds to your credentials. Having a side hustle does not. All right. Zipping down. Alfredo, another one. The only extracurricular and volunteer activities is my family. I hope this does not have a negative impact. It will not. Don't worry about it. And I have your resume in my hands. All right. Mohammed, hi Andy, the resume sample you did for recent graduates' language is a little different than other resumes you did. Is that normal? Mohammed, there's 2 resume templates that I have for college students and recent college graduates. One of them is in it's out there. That's just public. You can download a PDF, and it's a sample from, the popular video is this one trick will make your college resume stand out. That's where a lot of people get it. And that one is written in English, and there's kind of a sample. And I was just being funny with it, and I get a lot of laughs out of it. If you are referring to the one that I gave in the resume writing masterclass, which for some people was free to attend, and now, since I'm not running that and have no plans to run it again, it's $49 if you want the whole kit and caboodle. That template that's in Word, the filler is written in lorem ipsum Latin placeholder text for you to go in and type over, but the headings are all in English, if that's what you mean. I was not writing your resume for you. I was saying put your career profile here, or put your profile here. Sorry, you're a college student. Put your profile here, and here's how I would write that. And then I gave you a sample for a college student. Literally in the teaching, I gave you the sample. I'm not sure which one you're referring to. Indonesia, 11:33 p.m. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Ooh. Sorry, my hand slipped. Hang on, let me get back. Krista! Hey, Krista Nagy is the organizer of the event in San Francisco on June 7th. Yes, she gets to put the #1 leader tag on there. Sony, I have a few questions. Do we provide job work references from previous company or the most previous company? No. What's your advice for job applications that require writing samples? I would just provide them. I would scrub them and just make sure that I'm not showing my company name on there or my client's name or anything of that nature. Adam Stark. Hey, Andy, sales past want to change career to creative industry. On career profile, can I say that I'm a creative person as I want to highlight my creative and transferable skills and reduce the sales? You can, as long as you can justify how you're creative. All right. CL, networking question. When making a new connection, how do you balance being timely and responsive and being pushy, aggressive, and desperate? I'm not sure what you're getting at. If I'm making a new connection, it's on their timetable, not mine. All right, Stefan, that's correct. Sam, how are you? Luke, quick question for you. What sort of due diligence is done after an offer is made? Do you mean yours or theirs? Transitioning into a new role internally and don't know if I should disclose that to an external potential employer. You should. You should. I would. Nashlin B, Andy, I love your videos. Thank you. First time joining. Can we all give Nashlin a first time live office hours big ass hug? Okay. I have 11 years experience, but with a single company, will this be looked at negatively? No. And what I would do is if you can, hopefully you've got some evolution. So, you started out and you were a junior person. Then you kind of worked your way up. You're kind of a mid-level person. Then you kind of worked your way up. Maybe you're a little more senior now. That's what I would do. Oh, Nancy, thank you. Andy is so unique and inspiring. Truly uses his gift. I am blessed to have found him, and we love having you too. And don't go calling those recruiters. Jeff, how are you? You're now 50 over. Welcome to the club. Do I need to include my entire work history on my resume? This is, it depends. So I am 52. I have 30 years and then some, of work experience. My first 10 years were at Anderson Consulting, which is now Accenture, and I had a wonderful 10-year run at that consultancy. If it's me, I put 1988 to 1999, and it's 2 lines that talk about those 10 years because I want a prospective employer to see that, which is great. Now, if you don't have something that's super clean like that, and maybe you had like 3 jobs in your first 10 years, you could lop it off. Or if you think there's some relevance to the early jobs you had in your career, you could lump them together. Additional experience. Served as senior analyst for various financial institutions such as blah, 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 between 1988 and 1999. Or whatever, something like that. So it depends. You just need to measure the value you think it will contribute to the employer's desirability of you, or if you're worried about ageism. Okay, so if you want to lop it off, if I took that 10 years off, my resume is still pretty impressive, but I also only have 2 other jobs and then all my own company stuff. But I like people to know that I have that. So it depends. It depends. Danita, you're welcome. Diana, my boot camper, how are you? Having watched you... Okay, I love this. See, this is a smart lady, folks, because she's going to give me the background to let me know if she did her homework and so that I don't have to, refer to all that crap. All right, having watched contractor or self-employed looking for full-time employment, and the bonus, more resume layouts, exceptions, and common issues, because that's inside the boot camp. I still struggle with the layout of my resume. Okay, I get that I can lump contracting together, but also how do I add other jobs in chronology? I've been a contractor throughout my career. Commodity, Diana, you did it. You answered it right there. Contracting, 94 to 99. Stockbroker, 99 to 2009. Contractor, 2010 to present. It's totally okay. It's totally okay, especially because you have those sweet runs. Like that's pretty good looking. You know what I mean? Like you got a huge clump and a huge clump, and I like that. It's not a clump; it's good stuff. You're not. Don't struggle. Just lay it out like that. I mean, lay it out like it is. Aaron Moore, any advice on how to get a position at a college or university, particularly for a recruiting or academic advisor? The same way I would pitch any of the others. And if you are wanting to change careers, for all of you career changers, I recommend that you spend 60% of your time to 2/3, 60 to 66%, doing two things: networking, figuring out how to network, finding the people in the network, and volunteering. All that's one lump. That's like 2/3 of your search, because you are going to have to rely heavily on somebody to refer you into something, or you are going to have to build a relationship with somebody to refer you into something. You will never be able to compete with somebody who has less years of work experience but more relevant years of work experience that earns less than you do when you submit your resume into an applicant tracking system or a career portal or whatever. So don't try that. You as a career changer, you're going to have some help. And so Aaron, number one, I would use the same tactics. I would check out that job search networking video. I would also check out my Career Changers playlist. But I do not find, and I have helped people get in academic institutions, I do not find tactically, there is some differences in the interviewing process when you are going into run departments and teach and those kind of things. But you are trying to get into a working position in the administrative units of these institutions. So it's similar. I'm zipping through Diana's stuff. I mean, I think you're on track. I don't. Not sure there's a question there. All right. You're welcome, Chris. And any questions about, the boot camp or the leadership program or the book or any of that stuff, feel free to let us know. I see Kara's put some of the links in there. See, some message was... Oh, I see what you did there. All right, Sarah S. Hey, Sarah. Hi, Andy. If we meet a C-level exec and he offers to be a reference, he fit me into his busy schedule, do I still send a thank you letter through snail mail? Yes. Hell yes. Hell yes. Oh, Nancy, thank you for that. I'm the lucky one. Jeff Sanchez, been listening to you for months. You literally helped me get the job starting in 2 weeks. You're the bomb. Thank you, my friend. Great to have you. Great I can be of help. Glad I can be of help. And is this repeating? I don't know. Thank God it's Friday. Yes. Okay. Jeffrey Sanchez, I tried asking for more on the starting salary for the new job, but the company recruiter discouraged that and said it might look bad. I listened and didn't ask for more. What do you think? I think you should. I don't think you should listen to the recruiters when they say that. The recruiters will say that because the recruiters want the path of least resistance to get you into the organization. And if you go and counter, the worst thing that they can say is no. But most companies always have a little extra to give you. Why? Because they want you to be happy. So if you go back and you ask for more, you actually have over a 90% chance of getting something. But you have not because you ask not. So if you ask, they expect you to ask, and they usually hold a little back, even when they tell you they didn't. Because isn't it better for Jeffrey to ask me for something, and even if I can't give him all 10,000 of it, but I gave him 5,000 or 3,000, isn't that better, right? That's what would have happened. I almost guarantee it, although I can't be 100% sure, but I negotiated a lot of employment agreements. And I'll tell you that's the case. Sarah, talking to a possible temporary travel job recruiter. I don't even know what that is. You have a temporary traveling job, and you're talking to a recruiter. Next step will be to fly out to meet them. How do I stall that step for possible other more wanted permanent position? Tell them you want a more. Tell them you're in the process of reviewing permanent positions, and just tell them that your schedule's tied up. Tanae, question: what is the best way to respond to a question that you really don't know the answer to in an interview? If Tanae, and because I want to try to get a few more of these in because we're coming up on the end of the show, go to Interview Intervention and go to my silver bullet chapter, which is chapter 6. Go to question number 10. That's your answer. Okay. Emilio, hey, Andrew, I have a question. I stopped working almost 3 years ago due to depression. Sorry to hear that, my friend. And I noticed the gap of time without working damaged my opportunities. How to overcome. Check the video on how to handle an employment gap. Okay, folks, I got to wrap it. Interview Intervention, it's in. It'll ship tomorrow if you order it today. The boot camp is on special. Now, if you are interested in the boot camp and you really want to jump in, get in today, get in tomorrow, because then that will give you a week before next Friday to go through as much of it as possible. And then you can kind of look at it, and then as you start practicing and going through the lessons and implementing them, you'll discover that real live targets are showing you what's really happening, and you'll have great questions for me. And you can come back every Friday in May for the rest of the month and ask me what you need. So great to be back. I'm back. Well, you'll get a video on Tuesday. That's pretty good if I do say so. And then on Thursday next week, I'm back again working with recruiters, meaning third-party recruiters. I've already talked about how to work with corporate recruiters. This is going to be about third-party recruiters and executive search firms. All right, folks, be good. Love you all. Thanks for coming.